So anyway, here's my $300 Toyota. It's a 1981 Hilux. It's a SR5, but if it was in Japan, it'd be a Hilux. SR5 is just the American name for the Hilux. But anyway, yeah. I know the tailgate's missing, but that's because it's totally rotted out. And I'm also trading it for GT parts. So I don't need a tailgate anyway. I can build a new one. Anyway, I'll do a quick cold start. 22R, which means it's carbureted. 22RE would be fuel injected. Oh, there it is. I couldn't quite see the dipstick. So it's got about half full. It hasn't run in about 2 weeks right now. Or like a week. I've only had it for about 2 weeks. For some reason, as you see down here, the lights aren't plugged in, but I was trying to figure out why I'm not getting any power to the lights or to the horn. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, because those are both legally necessary here in California. Two-wheel drive manual transmission. Interior's in great shape for being as old as it is. I honestly think the interior was rebuilt. Besides, I mean, that crack in the dash is really the worst of the interior. It's got a auxiliary voltmeter and auxiliary oil pressure gauge. It gets probably 70 pounds of oil pressure. It's great. But there's no clutch safety switch, which kind of bothers me, because I know someday I'm going to get used to not having to use the clutch to start it, and I'm going to have it in gear and start it and run into somebody. But anyway, yeah. Turn that off. And also, yeah, I'll set up the choke. Let's see if it'll start. Hadn't run in about a week. And that would be bad connection. Just probably this one. If you can't tighten the battery terminals, if you can jam it and kind of dig it into the lead, since the lead is pretty soft material, then it usually works, at least for smaller engines like this 2600cc motor. Okay, retry. Let that buzzer turn off. I hate that buzzer. Come on, baby. So yeah, that was 1 week cold start. That's about how it starts all the time. So it's not really that reliable, but I'm sure I can fix that. Got to rev it a couple times and that'll release the choke. Choke's still like halfway on. It idles pretty low and the choke's all the way off. Yeah, I guess it's a pretty good little truck. Alternator works, as you can see, the key works. I put in 4 new spark plugs. That's all I had to do. I got it sitting for 15 years, so all I had to do is put in 4 new spark plugs. Just because I was feeling rich, I put in a new fuel filter. But yeah, should be a pretty good little truck. It's got NGK plugs, which are, in my opinion, the best plugs. But some people have different opinions. It's got a couple rust holes here and there, but I mean, no, that's nothing Bondo can't fix. It runs good, it shifts good. There we go. Now it's going down to low idle. It's got the normal 5-speed transmission, like what you'd find in a modern car. Same shift pattern anyway. It moves. Clutch works good. The reason why I got a little truck like this is because that lifted 4x4 F-150 is going to be way too expensive on fuel and way too expensive for insurance and registration for me to drive it. It's a bit loose for some reason. Oh well. But yeah, it needs a bit more work to be reliable. I don't really know why it starts so hard. Hopefully I'm getting a manual choke kit, so maybe that'll help. Hopefully it will. So I'll have a choke knob in the dash control, but that's what I like anyway. I prefer that than anything else. It's got a little exhaust leak down there that I'm going to have to address. It eventually fills the cab with exhaust, so that's why the fan was on, because I keep the fan on full blast so I can drive it without getting a headache. But yeah, pretty good little truck. It runs really well, and all I did was put in new spark plug. I mean, it was literally 15 minutes in a battery to get this thing going. There we go, now we're getting to low idle. And it runs nice and smooth even at low idle. Sometimes it skips, but that's normal for a carbureted engine. Yeah, anyway, this video's starting to get long. We actually have the original title from 1983 when it was signed over from the bank. I think it's in the 6.0 right there, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to spray paint over this so I can register it as a normal pickup truck, because stupid California, that advertisement automatically makes this a commercial vehicle, which is outrageous on insurance and registration. So yeah, one thing in particular that I like about this is that thing right there. The manual fuel pump, or mechanical, I guess. That's the AC compressor. The AC does work very well. I just need to get a battery for it, because I use this battery in several machines, including the GT6000 right there. The brakes got a little spongy lately. They were not working at all when I got it. So I bled them, and they were working really good for about 10 miles, then they got spongy again, and right now it's going all the way to the floor. But if you pump them up, they do hold pressure as long as you hold the brake pedal, so it's just air in the lines. And the blinkers did work, but I lost the blinkers for some reason, so it's got a couple of electrical bugs. Horn doesn't work. I wonder if the, yep, those still work. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, it's got great oil pressure, and this is only idling, and it's at the high end of the oil pressure gauge. So it's got to be like 70 pounds when it's revved up to 2,000 RPM. The tach doesn't work, so I'm going to have to address that too, because I like to see how many RPMs I'm running, both for setting the idle and just to know, just because I'm curious. Yeah, it's got a little bit of rust here, but it really isn't all that bad. I mean, this door seal leaks like a sieve, so I'm going to have to fix that, because this carpet probably is still wet from the rain 3 days ago. Yeah, it is damp anyway. And the throttle cable's sticking pretty bad. I can't tell if it's the hinge down here or the cable itself. But anyway, I'm gonna have to address that too. So there's a lot of things that need to be fixed on it. It's got some redneck wiring. There's some redneck wires that I tucked up under there. This wire over here that's disconnected, and if I connect it to the battery, it doesn't spark up, so it's not shorting, and it doesn't really seem to do anything. So I really don't know. This thing's just effed up wiring. that wire there, that wire that runs in with the, can't remember what that cable is, but it runs into the firewall. I figured out where it goes. It goes over to that side somewhere. I can't remember where, but anyway, that's the deal.